Our municipal partner visitor this week is the mayor of the village of Ossining, Rika Levin. The village of Ossining is a 30,000 person population, one of the largest villages in the county. And when you see a village of that size, you could wonder why it isn't a city, because we have cities that are less people in it than the village of Ossining does. But nonetheless, she has a dynamic environment to operate in. It's a very exciting community. It's known for much more than Sing Sing, as it was once known all those years ago. So she'll give you an update on things that relate to the village of Ossining. I bring you the mayor of the village of Ossining, Rika Levin. Rika, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, County Executive. Thank you for having me here. Thank you to County Executive, Deputy County Executive, great friends of Ossining. We have 30,000 people on about 3.2 square miles on the side of the Hudson River. It has a lot of challenges. It also has, as we were discussing earlier with some folks in the room, lots of free concerts and lots of arts and lots of movies have been done there and a lot of wonderful events. All year round, actually. I've spoken about housing in the past and other topics, immigration, etc. But today I want to focus on our downtown, which is really part of our downtown and waterfront. For over 2 decades, the village has been considering a number of interrelated downtown and waterfront revitalization projects, designed in large part to address the negative consequences of urban renewal, which happened a few decades ago, but some of the river towns are still suffering from some of those consequences. Each of the projects that we are working on its own is huge for a village of our size. Unlike cities, villages have really different dynamics and have their own challenges. But collectively, the many projects that we have undertaken since 2021 have just been life-changing for our businesses, for tourists, for the growth in our population. And unlike cities and some of our other municipalities, we don't have a large corporate base to work off of. So we really do look at what benefits our residents and businesses and what can we do to enrich their lives. So it's with this thought that the board and staff did much in community engagement across our community during COVID, before COVID, since COVID, etc., and really came up with a number of projects. It was when we received a $10 million grant from the state to further the DRI efforts that really all of our wishes became a reality, and the journey we're on right now. We're working on 24 projects. We received $10 million and leveraged that into an additional $50 million in grants. And I just want to highlight some of the programs and where we are with them. We are looking to continue building affordable housing units. We're going to have probably a couple of hundred of them. You're going to hear more about seniors. And one of the projects is fully dedicated to affordable senior housing in one of the lots that's been sitting empty for 2 decades. So we're very happy all the way around. So are the local businesses and our residences. And we have seen a growth in aging in place community in Ossining. And so that is one of the demographics we really do look for to use the funding and improve their life and their living conditions here in Westchester. Together, the projects also look to build I would call it state-of-the-art water treatment plant. Drinking water is a big issue across this country. It's not a sexy issue. Mayors don't really like to stand up and talk about rotting infrastructures in the East Coast or, in cities. Not a nice topic, not fun, but when you're building housing and police departments and community centers and hospitals, really part of the responsibilities is to talk about infrastructure. And so we right now are in the middle of, and we hope to get help from the county. We absolutely are getting help from the state and our representatives there and our own water rates, is that we are actually looking to build and started and did the groundbreaking just a few weeks ago for the largest of its kind drinking water plant revitalization on the East Coast. I didn't know it was the East Coast till I did the press conference, and then I got a bunch of engineers calling me to tell me that I misspoke. It's not the Northeast, it's the largest on the East Coast. We're very excited. We also hope this will be a model for other municipalities in Westchester County and have more of the county, state, and federal government involved, because with all of the infrastructure changes, which is what our focus, and all the requirements now to upgrade all these systems, we think the municipality should really take a look at these infrastructure improvement. That is a $105 million project. It was expected to be 37 when I was a trustee and signed off on it. So things change over time, especially after COVID. Infrastructure changes become more of a commitment than we had thought it would be. But we're very excited about it, and we think that we are going to become a model village for many municipalities. So that is what I wanted to focus on. We have 24 projects, but it would take this entire 2 hours for me to go through that. So I've learned not to do that, but I did want to give you a little sampling of some of the things that we're working on in Ossining. I do invite everyone that's listening to this, and will listen to it afterwards, to come all year round to Ossining and enjoy our waterfront and all of the new environments that we are building. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you very much. That's Madam Mayor Rika Levin from the village of Ossining. I was just in Ossining earlier today for a stop at the Caputo Senior Center, and also had a chance to dine at the fabulous Double D Diner on Route 9. Always a stopping off place. Most folks know I generally will seek out the diner wherever it may be. But we appreciate you coming and talking about what's happening in Ossining. Ossining does have an incredible waterfront. In fact, almost all of our river communities do. Each one's a little bit different. Almost all of them have waterfront parks. Engle Waterfront Park in Ossining is the site for a host of different activities and events, and we hope you take her up on the offer to go visit in Ossining. We're happy to have you here. And just to give you an idea, when we have this program this year, we've been doing this now for the last 4 years, 5 years. We have had so far speaking to us here since the first of this year, the supervisor of the town of Cortland, supervisors of the towns of Lewisboro, Ossining, Bedford, Pelham Town, and we've had North Castle supervisor here, Newcastle supervisor from here speaking to us. Cities of New Rochelle, White Plains have visitors, mayors of villages, and not only Ossining, but Ardsley, Irvington, Rybrook, on and on, Briarcliff Manor, and so forth. So this has been a forum for our local municipal partners to come and join us and talk about their community. As I've often said, to the greatest extent possible, we try for Westchester County to be a partner in government with the local governments. That has not always been the case, nor the philosophy. Each administration has its own way of operating, and we have certain corporate interests in the county that differ from the towns, the villages, and the city's corporate interests. But we're all sibling governments, brothers and sisters of different sizes. We're the largest, but we all fall under the state structure of government. It's the state government, it's in this case the state of New York, that creates counties, cities, villages, towns. If you lived in any other state, you recognize that there are some states that don't have county government. There's some states that don't have a village level of government. Everyone's a bit different. But if we can cooperate, find resources to deal with problems, the people who live in a particular home might live in the village of Ossining, but they also live in the village, in the town of Ossining, and they also live in the county of Westchester. So to the extent that we can harmonize that efforts. And the great success in getting the DRI funds is very important. We're talking about that in the other communities that have it, Peekskill, New Rochelle, and I'm missing one, New Rochelle, Peekskill, White Plains, most recently. And those are a tremendous influx of money from the state to help make major changes. So we're very happy that Ossining has that opportunity. Thank you for being with us.